Hello, community. I'm joining you today from the coffee shop. In fact, I was going over to the beautiful PB Essex Museum here in Massachusetts, and it is closed today. But they have this beautiful sunlit rooftop that is so light, and I really wanted to be inside of a well-lit space today because it is a process for healing, for bringing more light into our world. And I thought, well, what a great idea! So I'm gonna be working there and going live from there. And it was closed. They changed their hours. They used to be just closed on Mondays, and now they're closed on Tuesday. On I'm losing track of this week. Apparently, this is Wednesday. Yeah, they're closed Tuesday, Wednesday. And I don't know, this whole week just felt like super slow. March is really, really long, especially here in New England. So just waiting for spring, and tomorrow is the full moon, and so I'm just like ready for all that really high, elevated energy. So this whole week has been really, really slow. But I wanted to come in here and talk today and talk to you about the wellness of sensuality, wellness that is so important for your health. And I can't wait to dive into this topic. So if it's a little loud in here, I'm sorry. It's because I parked my car, I came to this public place, and this is where it's at. This is where we're at today. So I hope you can hear me. Speaking into my headset as best as I can, and ready to dive in with you. So welcome. I'm Rachel, your new mom coach and lactation consultant, and really getting women into a place of balance in their lives as new moms. And this topic, I'm really, really excited to talk to you about because it's one that I feel is so healing for ourselves, for our families, and also for the planet. When women into their own feminine creativity, their own power, it is really, really a source for change and sustainability. And I'm really into sustainability, both for the environment, but also for our lives, right? And as women, as moms, how do we sustain ourselves with this new baby? So here's what I want to talk to you about today. The importance of having a balance as a new mom with your partner, with yourself. It is important to stay within the feminine rhythmic cycle, right? So you and your partner had a lot of energy, created this baby, and might have had a lot of intense polarity, sexually, energetically. And once the baby arrives, it is a complete new paradigm. You are now in a triangular, pattern, rhythm set versus just the two polarities. There's three. And so many women have a difficult time balancing out those three. Oftentimes it's like now I'm going to test my geometry, but one side is really, really long. It's the baby side, and we give everything to the baby. We're making sure, we're worried about the baby. Our energy is going to the baby. It's all about the baby. And that, of course, needs to be the way it is in the beginning. You need to ask for help. You need to get, that triangle and that balance where we are giving ourselves to the baby and other people can give to us. But how do you do that? How do you do that over time? How do you do that over like 6, 8, 9 months, a year, 18 months? So what I want to tell you is these skills are really, really important, not just for first month, second month, third month, but also for the entire trajectory of your life as a mom and also into toddlerhood. And so what I love about this topic is that it helps you to sustain the energy of motherhood. And so as we are giving to the baby, we oftentimes stay in that for so long. It becomes about the baby, the baby, the baby. And I don't know if you notice, but many men, many husbands, they notice that their second nature, second fiddle, and their emotional connection to many new moms. I talked to hundreds of women, um, you know, thousands of women are experiencing the same thing, where there's sort of this disconnect and energy, that polarity has shifted for them. And now maybe a disconnect, maybe there's some arguing, maybe there's some fighting and some bad feelings. I even spoke with one woman who said that her husband started looking at other women, and she was talking to me about divorce, even though they're just 1 year after marriage and they have this new 1-month-old or 2-month-old. And it's really sad to think that, that can shift into such a problem so early on in a relationship. And so sustaining this is really important, not only for you, not only the baby, but also for your partner, and also for the marriage, right? The energy that you created this baby with in the first place. And so we want to keep that balance. And husband might, give you excuse, well, I have to work, or I can't come home, or I'm tired. And this new baby really doesn't impact their lives so much. I mean, they can come and go as they please. They can, still go to work. They can do a lot of things. Maybe they lose sleep. But really, this is more impacting you. So you're the one who needs to figure this out, to get this in balance, and to have this be a part of your sustainability, or rhythmic, and rhythmic health. And so, yeah, having that as in your toolbox can really, really help the marriage as well, right? So this is something that has not been shared with us. We haven't, had any guidebooks about how to continue to have the rhythmic balance, the energy, the polarity in that relationship, right? Because what happens is you have this baby and you're giving all your sensuality to the baby, and it's beautiful and you want that. But there's really not that much left over for your spouse, the energy of your spouse and that relationship. And that's really interesting, because what happens is that in the beginning, we don't really want that. We don't want sexuality. We don't want that. We don't feel like being penetrated. Uterus's cervix, the womb space just opened up. We don't really want that right now. We have a lot of healing to do. But we're creatures of emotion and connection. So we really, really do want something in a way, but we just don't necessarily want it in the way that we had it before. We have a period in our lives postpartum where we just are feeling a little bit more sensitive, fragile, vulnerable, open, and selfless. When we have the baby. Hello, if you're joining me, I'm so happy you're here. Feel free to reach out to me, say something in the comments. At the end of this, I'm going to give you a link so you can book a call with me and we can discuss this further. We're talking really interesting things about your relationship and your sensuality. And so we really want that sensuality, we really want that connection with somebody else, but we just sometimes maybe don't know how to have that. We really don't know how to communicate about it. We don't know how to ask for it. And if we don't know how to do that for ourselves, we're certainly not going to get it from our partners, because they were not taught that as well. So it's really, really important that we notice this, that we recognize that this is something that sorry about the noise. As I said, I'm in a coffee shop. But, it just is so important to recognize this is something that is so powerful, and that it can help us to find wellness in our lives. And finding the feminine wellness in early motherhood is so important, because once you learn this, it's a sustainable tool that you're going to practice for the rest of your motherhood journey. Instead of having overwhelm, anxiety, and stress, sometimes that's caused because we lack the connection, or we can't get this right, or we're not connecting with our partners in the way that we used to, right? And what I find so much in mothers is that they are looking to go back to how things were. But honestly, that's never going to happen. And it's not really healthy to want to go back, because you have this new baby. You just have to figure out a new way to relate to your family and this core family with a way that works for you. And as I said, to balance out that triangle, right? So that it's both all even on all sides. And so we need to find tools in our toolkit that are going to give us that sensuality, that rhythm, right? And I talk about this with my clients we're talking about living in feminine rhythm cycles of wellness. And it's really important to understand that. And I'm not going to go into that now. I would love to talk to you about how that is. And I think I've mentioned it on some lives. I also feel like these tools are really important for the health of us as powerful women and getting something done in our lives and getting, being providers, right? So it's like this ebb and flow, finding the rhythm. I think I've talked about it before, where you can live in our feminine power, but then also retreat. And so it's like this, we finding the rhythm. And so the thing is, like, having this, desire for connection, this desire for sensuality, but then also giving it to the baby. It's like, yeah, we want to give it to the baby, but we also want that balance with our partners. And so how do we do that? How do we do that for ourselves? Well, first is finding that inside yourself, giving it to yourself first. Once you can give that sensuality to yourself, and you give that love and that connection that you need to yourself, you can then give it to your partner in a way that really works for both you and him, and also to your baby. And also then when you're giving that and you're receiving, you're also receiving more help from your partner, from family. I'll give an example. Last night, after a long day of work, I really needed to work out. I'm committed to having a goddess body and muscles and sculpting myself. So I was in the basement, I was doing my bike, and then I came up and I was doing my abs. And my mom was there. I invited her over for dinner. I invited her, my daughters were there, and I invited my mom over for dinner. And I had dinner planned out, but I really didn't have it started yet. I put the water on the stove to boil, but they were hungry, and so I said, you know what, I need to do this. I need to take care of myself. I need to do this workout too. And they just sort of took over. They started dinner, doing the things, setting the table. And I was saying to myself, wow, this is exactly what women need. Like new moms, they need to know how to take care of themselves first, and then when they're doing that, they ask for what they need, and things get done. You know what I mean? And so I know a lot of responsibilities that have to go on you, like doing dishes, doing laundry. But if you're really taking care of yourself and somebody needs a pair of underwear, you say, hey, let's do the laundry. I just love this mentality. And this is the thing that we dive into. And that was an example just at the top of my head, but we have so many tools in our toolkit to be able to have the sensuality back in our lives, because sensuality and finding that within yourself is a really beautiful way to live as a goddess in this world, to live in the feminine wellness in early motherhood. And I promise you, not many people are talking about this. Definitely not pediatricians, definitely not midwives, definitely not your mother, your aunt, not your sister, your friends. This is a very unique mode of discovery, and I want to be able to offer that to you. So I'm going to put this in the chat. I'm putting this link to join me and speak with me about this right there. So it's just a link, and once you get that link, it's going to take you to my calendar, and you can just book a call with me. If this really intrigues you, you can just definitely book a call, and then we'll talk about this more if this is something that you want to learn how to balance the feminine wellness in your life. What are you going to do to sustain that pleasure, that gift that we have as women, to have pleasure, and it's your birthright, and have pleasure and have ease and bliss in your life, right? And so if you're not seeking it, it won't happen. And many women come to me with anxiety, overwhelm, stress, confusion, uncertainty. They're just not sure of anything. And we teach them how to get back into their bodies. We teach them how to feel certain, feel confident, to feel bliss, to feel pleasure, to feel, to embody a new way of being in yourself, because this new role as mom is a whole new way of being. It is a whole new way of experiencing life. You have that beautiful connection, that bond you have with your baby through breastfeeding or not, but the bond you have with the baby is a very sensual connection, and it's powerful, and you're in that sensuality over and over, day after day after day. And then you're like, and then you have to switch and be sensual with this man or woman or partner, and be sensual and then even sexual. How do you do that after you're with a baby? It's like, it's this disconnect. but coming back home to you and finding first your love for yourself and that connection for you, that selflessness for you, not just for the baby, then you have that beautiful selflessness for your partner. And everything really does then flow lovingly, and you can grow spiritually with that person and just have that that beautiful, deep emotional connection that you crave and that you're looking for from you and your partner, and that you've had before. And then within that, it can help grow the polarity again, and that amazing, delicious high vibration frequency that you had with your partner and how you made the baby. So it's like coming full circle, and you're not going to feel like you've had it. You're going back to where you were, but you're saying, wow, I've created that same high intensity frequency that I had. And now look, I have this new baby. So it's a really, really, really beautiful coming full circle. And then with that awareness, then you have the balance between like this, right? The triangle is equal on both sides. I'm remembering the name of a triangle, obtuse and acute, right? So yeah, we want those acute angles in our relationship versus like one long side and two short. So it is that's a gift. It's a skill. Figure out how to have that, and I'm happy to speak with you about that. It's something that you really would love to see, the balance, the rhythm, and this covers not just sensuality. It covers like wellness in the kitchen. How do you nourish yourself? How do you nourish your family? It happens with relationships, spiritual growth. So this is feminine wellness in early motherhood. It runs the spectrum, not just physical health, but emotional, spiritual, and sensual as well. So this is one area that I love to talk about. But there's also when you have the blueprint on how to create this balance in your life, you can do it in all aspects. That's all I'm saying. So I hope this was helpful. I look forward to talking with you on the phone, and I'll see you next week on my Facebook Live. Bye for now.